Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namaskaram to all and welcome to the first episode of Śiva-Bodha-Mālikā. Shaivism is one of the most ancient theistic traditions of Sanatana Dharma. The worship of Shiva is what we refer to as Shaivism, Shiva as the primary deity. And we have archaeological evidences and even literary evidences on Shaivism in all the regions where Sanatana Dharma spread. Now, where does all this begin? Where did Shaivism begin? What was the origin of the deity Shiva as we know him today? As for everything, our origin lies in the Vedas itself. The Vedic Rudra is the source of the deity Shiva that we worship today. So, in this episode, let us know more about this Vedic deity Rudra. Let's start with the etymology of Rudra itself. The most common etymology of Rudra is Yaha rodayati sarvam antakale iti Rudraha. The one who makes everyone cry at the last moment, antakale, towards the end of their life, is Rudra. So this signifies Rudra as the Lord of destruction, the Lord of dissolution. And in another lens, if you look at it, the Lord of liberation, the Lord who gives moksha. That is why we say that leaving the mortal remains in Kashi gives you liberation. But the Lord Shiva himself is said to be giving you liberation by chanting the Ramanama into your ears. But more about that in the future episodes. So the form of Rudra as the Lord of destruction or dissolution is one of the most prominent ones. But there are other aspects to Rudra which are explained in the other etymologies, which Sayanacharya beautifully explains in his commentary on the Rig Veda. He says, Rut samsarakhyam dukkham. The term Rut indicates samsarakya dukkha, the dukkha of samsara. Tat dravayati, apagamayati, the one who removes that samsara dukkha is Rudra. Rutaha indicates Vani and in a way indicates the Atma Vidya or the Upanishad teachings. The one who gives that, the Dati, is Rudra. Runaddi avrunoti iti Rut andhakaradi. The Rut term also indicates andhakara or darkness of ignorance. The one who removes that, vidarayati iti Rudraha. So, the various aspects of Rudra that we come to see here, one is the Lord of destruction. At the same time, the Lord who gives the ultimate knowledge of the self or Atma Vidya and who removes the darkness of ignorance from our lives and gives us the supreme light of knowledge. These various aspects will be dealt in detail in our further episodes as we look how these aspects have metamorphosized into different forms of Rudra. Now, if you look at the Rig Veda, we have about 5 to 6 suktas that are dedicated to Rudra as a deity. So Rudra is a minor deity in the Rig Veda. However, even if he be a minor deity and there are very few suktas dedicated to him, the importance that Rudra has when we read these suktas is immense. The first aspect that comes very clearly in most of the suktas dedicated to Rudra is his association with medicines. He is considered the lord of medicines. Bishajam Bishaktamaha. He is physician among the physicians, the doctor among doctors. In the Yajurveda, in the Rudra Prashna, Yate Rudra Shiva Tanuhu Shiva Vishwaha Bheshaji. Shiva Rudrasya Bheshaji Thayano Mridajivase. Oshadhinam Pataye Namaha. Various points in the Yajurveda as well as the Rig Veda. He is praised as the Lord of medicines. The devotee prays to Rudra to come to him with favorable medicines and cure away his illness, both physical and mental. The other aspect of Rudra that comes to us in a minor way that is indicated is that he is also mentioned as the protector of sacrifices. Medhapatim Yajnapalakam. And the one who is praised by different verses. Gathapatim Stutipalakam. Such a Rudra, who is the giver of medicines, who is the giver of jnana, is also feared because he is also depicted as this great warrior riding on the chariot with the bow and the arrow. That is why, if you look at the Rudra Prashna, the beginning itself, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, Om Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha, Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bahubhya Mutate Namaha. My salutations to your Dhanus and your issue, your bow and arrow. Please do not get angry with me. Please do not get angry with us and don't release these arrows towards us. Don't kill us. Don't hurt us. Mano mahanta mutamano arbhakam mana mukshanta mutamana ukshitam mano vadhih pitaram mota mataram priyamanas tanuvo rudradirishaha manas toketana yemana ayushimano goshumano ashveshuririshah Veeranmano rudrabhamigo vadirhavishmanto namasa vidhemate. Please do not harm my father, my mother, my brethren, my children, my spouse, our cattle, our house. None of them should be harmed by you. So there is an aspect of fear towards Rudra, and the devotee prays that Rudra does not do anything evil or inauspicious to him. This aspect of Rudra wielding the bow and the arrow, we will see in later times. We see a form called Kirata of Rudra. So this gets metamorphosized or translated into that. The only other deity we know with the bow and the arrow is Rama, isn't it? And we do know a lot of connections between Rama and Shiva, which we'll also see in some of the later episodes. Rudra is also mentioned as the father of the Maruts, who helped Indra win so many battles against the various asuras. Looking at the form of Rudra that we see in the Rig Veda, he has matted hair, braided hair, Kapardin. Kapardin is a very, very popular description of Rudra, the one with the matted hair or braided hair. And what is the complexion of Rudra? In fact, the complexion of Rudra is not blackish or bluish in color as is depicted in most cases. He's represented as golden in splendor, having a golden splendor. Hiranyabahave is how the Rudra Prashna addresses him. Even the Rig Veda says, Yaha Rudraha Suryaha iva Shukraha Suryavat Deeptaman Hiranyam iva Rochate. He's shining like the sun, like gold. So that is the color of Rudra, which we'll also see reflected in the later Puranic descriptions of Shiva. So these are some of the aspects of Rudra that we see in the Rig Veda and the Yajurveda. Especially the Rudra Prashna of the Yajurveda is a very, very popular hymn dedicated completely to Rudra. In this hymn, we find the essence of this hymn is that Rudra is seen as in every aspect of the universe. It is indeed a state of Advaita where you see the Lord everywhere. Sarvam khalu idam brahma, the Upanishadic statement, is reflected in some way in this Rudra Prashna. There are some interesting names given to Rudra in this Rudra Prashna. He is mentioned as Nilagriva, which the meaning of which we find in the later Puranic stories of how he got a blue neck, which we call as Nilakantha. He is referred to as Sabhapati, the Lord of the Sabhas, which again we find later references to. Bhava, Rudra, Sharva, Pashupati, Shitikantha, Kapardin, these are all the different names that we find of Rudra in the Rudra Prashna, which we still identify with that of Shiva. Shankara, and the term Shiva itself comes in the Rudra Prashna. Namah Shivaya cha, Shivataraya cha. So the Panchakshari mantra, Namah Shivaya, it is said that the Yajurveda, where this Rudra Prashna occurs, if you look at the entire gamut, if you keep the entire corpus of the Vedic literature, it occurs at the center part of the Vedic literature comes this aspect of the Yajurveda where you find the Rudra Prashna. Even among that entire corpus, Rudra Prashna comes in the center of that. Within the Rudra Prashna, in the middle, in the 8th Anuvaka comes Namas Cha. The Anuvaka starting Namas Cha. And at the center of that comes this Panchakshari mantra Namah Shivaya. So, while explaining this, the importance of Panchakshari, many Mahatmas say that the Namah Shivaya, the Panchakshari mantra, lies at the heart of the entire Vedic corpus itself. And it is the heart, it is the Hridaya of the Vedas. Now, we also have heard about Rudra Gana. The Yajurveda Rudra Prashna speaks of Rudra Gana, but as Rudras itself. They are all Rudras. And it says, Asmin Bhatyarnave Entarikshe Bhava Adhi Nilagriva Shitikantaha Sharva Adha Kshamacharaha Nilagriva Shitikanta Divagum Rudra Upashritaha Ye Vriksheshu Saspinjara Nilagriva Vilohitaha Ye Bhutanam Adhipatayo Vishikasakapardinaha Ye Anneshu Vidhyanti Patreshu Dojanan Ye Patham Patirakshaya Ailabrada Yavyudaha Ye Tirthani Pracharanti Srikavanto Nishanginaha Edavantascha Bhuyagumsascha Disho Rudravidastire. They are spread in hundreds and thousands. You find Rudras in different forms and shapes spread across the universe for protection. So in the Rudra Prashna, all these Rudras are worshipped and venerated, which you find later developments in the form of the Kapalika sect and other traditions where the Aghoris and various other aspects it got metamorphosized into. And as I mentioned, as the supreme giver of Atma Vidya and salvation, Trambagam Mijamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukami Vabandhana Mrityor Mukshi Yamamritaat. Please release me from death, just like the Urvarukam, the cucumber gets released from its stem automatically without any pain. Please release me from this life, samsara. So this aspect is also indicated. So these are the various aspects of Rudra that we find in the Vedas. And many of these aspects later on gets metamorphosized into various forms of Rudra and various aspects of Shiva and even the form of Shiva that we see in later times. Now let us listen to the first Anuvaka and the 8th Anuvaka of the Rudra Prashna from the Yajurveda.
Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha. Namaste Yastu Dhanvane Bahubhyamutate Namaha. Yadayishu Shivadama Shivam Babhuvate Dhanuhu. Shivasharavya Tavadayano Rudramridaya. Yate Rudra Shiva Talura Ghora Babakashini. तयानस्तनुवाशन्तमया गिरिशन्ताभिचाकशीः यामिषुङ्गिरिशन्तहस्ते बिभर्ष्यस्तवे शिवाङ्गिरित्रदां कुरु माहि गुंसेः पुरुषं जगत् शिवेरवजसा त्वा गिरिशाच्छा वदामसि यथा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मगुं सुमना असद् अध्यवोचद्यदिभक्ता प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषग् अहीगश्च सर्वाञ्जम्भयन् सर्वाश्च यातु धान्यः असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रुः सुमङ्गलः ये चेमागुं रुद्रा अभितो दिक्षु श्रुताः सहस्रशो वै शागुं हेडयीमहे असौ यो वसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उतैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुदहार्यः उतैनं विश्वाभूतानि स दृष्टो मृडयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीडुषे अथो ये अस्य सत्त्वानो हन्तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुभयोरार्तियोर्च्या याश्च ते हस्त इषवः पराता भगवो वपा अवतत्यधनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षशते शुधे निशीर्य शल्यानां मुखा शिवो नः सुमना भवा तिज्यन्धनुः कपर्दिनो विशल्यो बाणवागुं मुता अनेशन्नस्येषव आभुरस्य निषङ्गतिः याते हेतुर्मीढुष्टमहस्ते बभूव ते दनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधायानाददाय धृष्णवे उभाभ्याम् उत ते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अथो य इषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्निदेहितम् नमस्ते यस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। ॐ नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमस्ताम्राय चारुणाय च नमः शङ्खाय च पशुपतये च नम उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वधाय च दूरे वधाय च नमो हन्त्रे च हनीयसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयो भवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च नमस्तीर्थ्याय च कूल्याय च नमः पार्याय च नमः प्रतरणाय चोत्तरणाय च नम आतार्याय च लाद्याय च नमः षष्ट्याय च पेण्याय च नमः सिकत्याय च प्रवाह्याय च।
I hope all of you enjoyed the session today. We now meet next Monday. Namaskaram.